8 years, that is how long I spent at Uniqlo, grinding, growing, learning, and leading. It shaped me in so many ways. And then one day, I walked away. Why? Most people assume I just got tired of it. But the truth is, my decision to leave was one of the hardest but most important choices I've ever made. And today, I want to take you through that journey. What made me start? What made me stay? And ultimately, what made me leave? So it all started when I was 19 years old. I was studying fashion. It was the summer and I was looking for a summer job, which is when I found out Uniqlo was opening a Philadelphia store. And when I had found that out, honestly, it felt like a sign because I had known about the brand previously and always had admired it as a teenager. And so I knew that this wasn't just going to be a summer job for me. I was going to apply and get my foot through the door and honestly make intentionally a long career out of it. And Uniqlo, I've always admired their philosophy and approach to the business as well as their clothing. It honestly aligned very closely with how I felt about clothing as well. And our values really aligned, which made it even easier for me to really know that I wanted to join this company. And I really appreciated their philosophy for simple, high quality, functional clothing for everyone. I loved that. And so, Uniqlo was from the very beginning a place that I knew I would continue a career in. And it became the place where I learned, discipline, taking ownership and leadership, working in a high pressure environment, leading a team, building my leadership skills up. So there was a lot of beautiful things that came out of working for Uniqlo. I also remember, just the simple things of folding clothes, learning to fold clothes. I'd never had to be so attentive to details ever in my life. And cleaning and all of these other things that are highly valued at the brand. Those are real skills that I honestly carry with me even today. So I progressed as I moved up the ranks. I saw myself evolving. I saw my leadership skills developing, and my ability to work under pressure. I became good at handling fast-paced environments and making quick decisions. My strength always lied in product knowledge and in leading my team and influencing my team. I would always be really good at talking about products in a way that not only highlighted it, but it also always came back to the mission and purpose of the brand, which I honestly really enjoyed doing. It was a blast. I genuinely supported the brand's mission and meaning behind all of their products. They're great and they are great. They were great and they are great. Yeah, so ultimately that all of these things helped me progress over time to take on more leadership roles and give me more new opportunities at the brand. Fast forward, I got to open up a new store. I got to move to different cities and help improve stores. I even got to do special projects for the brand. I was almost like a brand ambassador where I got to do live shows with different influencers and talk about the product and introduce new collections. And I also worked in inventory control for a while as well. It was fun, it was challenging, and honestly incredible bonds to be made at Uniqlo. And I got to watch so many people that I supported grow into their roles, and find like opportunity, like an opportunity to have a career at Uniqlo.
I have a new career.
And I think that was one of the most inspiring things about working there. Uniqlo really, it became very quickly my whole life. I honestly almost like did not know anything else. I gave up a lot of my personal time up to work and progress my career and to help progress what I believed the brand forward and in all of their goals at the time. And that was my mission, and it honestly brought me a lot of meaning. So the turning point when things had changed was basically, it was like I was about 5 years in already at this point, and I'd been experiencing burnout, but I ignored it. I honestly did not know, recognize it as burnout. I was just doing what was quite normal, to do at Uniqlo. It was kind of like second nature to work as hard as we did at the brand, and that's what everyone was doing. That's what my colleagues were doing. It was like the recipe for success at Uniqlo. And then the pandemic happened, and there was a lot of change happening, as you can imagine, like so many shifting pieces and parts, and everything had to happen very quickly. One of the tasks that I had to do really made me reflect, and really started the ball rolling for me in terms of starting to think about what really mattered to me. And it was when I had to let go of like 50% of my employees that I personally and my team had hired, that I believed in. Some of these folks that we hired had families, and they really needed this job, especially during the pandemic. So it was really heartbreaking and a really difficult process for me to have to go through with layoffs. I don't blame the brand, as I understand during this time. That's what many businesses had to do as the reality of the pandemic and the lockdown. So I understand that piece, but I still think that it was a shifting moment for me in reflecting on to do this kind of work at this current moment. And I just had to really reflect on that and think about, was I making the impact that I really wanted to make in this world by working here? And would I be able to do that by working here for the rest of my life? And then I looked outside of work, and I realized, how disconnected I was to my own personal life. Like I wasn't making or keeping up with friends. I wasn't making new friends. I wasn't keeping up with current friends. I had disconnected from my closest best friends. I had literally no other hobbies. I couldn't think of anything at that time for a while as to what honestly sparked me joy other than thinking about work. I'd let go of doing art, going out with friends and having a great time, just dancing, all of these things that brought me joy. And I was also losing weight because of, just the stress of wanting to accomplish so much. Yeah, and I had skipped a lot of holidays and had to celebrate holidays alone often. And then something happened in my life that really made me question everything. I won't go into the details because that's a whole other conversation, but what I will say is that I had a serious health wake-up call. You start to realize how precious and how unpredictable time is. You start asking yourself, if I only had a limited time, would I be happy doing this, spending my time doing this? And the more I thought of it, the answer was no, I wasn't. I started to think about, what if? What if I wasn't doing this? What would my life look like outside of this? And when you're that entrenched in your work, you honestly usually don't ever think about that.
What if?
And when you let that build up years after years, it's so hard to think of an answer. And that's where I was at. I had no idea what if I was not doing this, what would I be doing? And I had spent 8 years at Uniqlo building my career that I was proud of, but my priorities were changing. And I wanted more time to explore like my passions and what brought me joy and more freedom.
But I want to be free.
Honestly, not feeling obligated to something. I went into working really soon, like right out of high school, right straight into college. I like went straight into working full time and gave up a lot of opportunity, like studying abroad, hanging out with friends when those are really precious moments to hang out with your friends and build memories. I gave a lot of those things up, to build a stable career. And so, in order to know what I was passionate about and to figure out what I really loved doing, I had to step away from that current path that I was on.
Sorry, I have to go.
Carrie!
I'm sorry.
So the decision to quit was not easy. And to decide what I was going to do next was even more scary. Making a decision to leave was one of the hardest decisions that I have made in my 20s, hands down, or just in my life up until this point. I had built relationships, stability, financial stability, like a sense of identity at Uniqlo, and I was basically walking away from all of that. It was really terrifying. But I had to choose between comfort versus growth. When I finally put my resignation letter in, I knew that it was like a really bittersweet moment for me. But I felt really brave doing it also.
I'm quitting right now.
My coworkers, I know, like, they were really supportive, but they were also very sad to see me go. And I know my managers that I had worked with, were, supportive of me, but at the same time, knew that I was taking a big leap into like the unknown, essentially. But when I stepped out of the company for the last time, I felt something that I honestly had not felt in like such a long time, which is freedom. For the first time in 8 years, I was not obligated to go to the stores, 6 days or sometimes 7 days out of the week.
I'm my own boss, so I set my own hours.
I did not have to, think about the business, others, what we have to do today, tomorrow, next week. And it was just like this ongoing cycle that I was stuck in, essentially. And for the first time, I had felt like I'd broken that chain. And I was completely free to do as I wish, to get up as I wish at any time and make my own decisions for myself. And that was just really incredible.
I am breaking the cycle.
Okay, now let me make this clear. I still love Uniqlo. I still respect the brand. I believe in their mission, and I still will continue to shop there. But sometimes when you love something, you can outgrow it, and that's okay. Leaving wasn't about rejecting the brand, it was honestly stepping into the next phase of my life. If you're watching this and you feel stuck at your job, I just wanted to say, it's okay to change. It's okay to outgrow things. It's okay to choose yourself. Your job is just one part of your life, and when it's no longer aligning with who you are becoming, then maybe it's a time to ask yourself, what do I really want? This was 2.5 years ago now, and since then, a lot has happened in my life. I have done a lot of different things I thought I would never do, challenging myself in new ways, and it's been a really amazing experience. And honestly, it still feels like the beginning of this journey. So I want to bring you guys along for it. I'm going to be sharing more about my experiences, my personal growth, and all the things I'm currently working on that I'm now taking the leap on. So if you're into that, hit the like button, drop a comment, let me know. Have you ever felt stuck in your job? What was the breaking point for you? I want to hear your stories. I'd love to honestly create a space where this can be like a more normal conversation. Bye.
Bringing out the fight, yeah.